Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a tier ranking of every book that I've read this year. It's going to be like 70 plus books. Yeah, let's get started. So I have here my tier ranking. I'll go over the tiers. So I have the top tier, which is put it directly into my veins. This is like, I could give it a 5 out of 5, but I want to give it more than that. I loved it. And then next we have a valid 5 out of 5. Below that we have I have notes but still valid, so it's probably like a 4, 4.5. I have maybe so, maybe not so. This is like, I would recommend it, I might not, depending on the feeling. I changed my rating. I know I read a couple books this year that I gave really high notes for, and I probably take that back now. What even happened? So when you've read this many books, maybe you might forget some things, and that's probably what that's for. No please. I know I can think of a couple right now that would go in that section. And no rating. I have read some books that like are maybe manga, or I just, you know, don't have any rating for, and that's where that would go. So first we have Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Oh man, this is kind of hard. Okay. I'm gonna put Elantris in maybe so, maybe not so, because I think I gave it a 3-star. It's his first published work, so I guess we can only go up from here. I read it recently and I can't say that I enjoyed it that much. It was all right. The characters felt a little bit, I don't want to say shallow, because not shallow, but I feel like we could have explored the characters more than what we did. And there was like I think part 3 was just like so good, but there were so many other things that just kind of fell flat. The pacing was weird. I do really like, there are characters that I do really like from it though. All right, so first one. Okay, here we have a Spy Family manga, and I think I'm gonna put the Spy Family mangas in no rating. I'm gonna put it in no rating. I think that maybe I would give like volume 1 like a 5 out of 5, just because it's like a little special place in my heart. All right, next we have The Risk by Elle Kennedy, and I'm gonna put this in no please, because if I could fight a book, it would be this one. I hate this book with like so much passion. I fucking hate this book. And I'll tell you why. So I listened to the audiobook of this book because I normally listen to audiobooks while I'm working, and it took me forever to listen to it because I actually dreaded listening to it. It was so stereotypical. Like, I appreciate trying to put diversity into your books and your stories, but I think that Elle Kennedy should just stick with writing white characters. Her writing about a mixed Latina was just not it for me. Everything was like, oh my god, I get judged for wearing big hoop earrings because I'm Latina, but I do like to wear big hoop earrings, haha. Or her idea of like getting like a good dinner is like, oh, I'm gonna go get tacos. Ma'am, let's rethink this. Also, maybe do a little bit more research if you're gonna write about like a person of color, because Despacito by Luis Fonsi is not reggaeton. Let's be real. So no, if I could fight a book, I would. Also, of course you make her dating a Spanish man and then have him cheat on her. Okay, cool. Also, you write her as a hot-headed Latina. Cool, thank you for the stereotype. Thank you for contributing to that. And her mom is the same way, and then she has an African-American dad, and he's also kind of mean. I just didn't appreciate it. It was rude. Okay. We'll move on. Next. Why did it put these next to each other? Okay. God of War by Rena Kent. I gave this book a 2. I read this book all the way up to 80%, and I gave myself that read. Because first of all, her books are long. Nothing happened in this book. Nothing. And it like, I don't really like the Legacy of God series. I was really excited to read God of War because you get so many like little crumbs of what's their name? You get so many crumbs of Eli and what is the main character's name? Ava? You get so many crumbs of these characters in all the other books, and it's like, okay, this is gonna be good. Like, this is gonna be interesting. It wasn't. And also the twist, the twist is actually so stupid. Like, the twist is, compared to what the other guys do in this series, is probably not that big a deal. But it's like, we need to get married. I hated it. And I was waiting for this book for so long, and I read it and it was awful. And I was looking on TikTok and so many people love this book, and I'm like, how? How do you love this book? I actually hated it. I actually hated it so much. Oh, things are looking up. Next book, Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. Yeah, I know where that's going. Let's see. It is going in Put This Directly Into My Veins. I love this book so much. Sanderson, he just checked every single box for this book. It is so good. I loved it. The flashbacks, so rewarding, so rewarding. Like, learning about Shalon, amazing. Just the pacing of, like, when he puts things in the story and then you, like, it's not too far away from, like, finding out the next piece of information or it connecting to something else. Just so good. Like, oh my god, I love Words of Radiance. It's not my favorite book in the series, but, like, you can just tell that it's, like, writing-wise, it's the best book. Storytelling-wise, it's the best book in the series. Like, there's always a high. Always. Oh, so good. I love Words of Radiance. Okay, next book. So we have The Goal by Elle Kennedy. I think I gave The Goal a 5. And I'm gonna give it a valid 5 out of 5. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. I did really like this book. A lot of people in the reviews are like, I didn't know this was accidental pregnancy. It says it on the back of the book. This is not a surprise accidental pregnancy. This is an accidental pregnancy book. And I loved it. Sometimes I don't even want to read a book that has pregnancy in it because I'm like, what if that makes me pregnant? I have an irrational fear. Like, but this book is really good. I love it so much. I just think that, like, Tucker is just such a good character. Like, I love him. I love Sabrina. It's been a while since I've read it, but, like, I just know that I really liked it. The feeling was there. It's not gonna be directly into my veins, but, like, still a valid 5 out of 5. Okay, The Score. I don't even remember what happened in this book. What even happened? I forgot. It wasn't that memorable. I think Dean and Allie is this book, but I don't remember who Allie is. And I don't remember who Dean is. I think Dean is Summer's brother, but, like, that's all I got. And they're rich. I think there's a scene where they, like, go to his, like, New York City, like, penthouse or something. Couldn't tell you. Oh my god. I just realized right now that I mixed up The Risk and The Play. Girl. Oops. Okay. Let's just fix that really quick. So The Risk, I think, is Bree and someone else. I did like this one. We'll put this one in. Okay, hold on. We're gonna put The Play. Everything that I said about The Play stands. The Risk goes in maybe so, maybe not so. Like, that's my bad. I definitely mixed those up, but, you know, they're both like the and then a 4-letter word. Dark hair on the cover. I can't help that I mixed that up. That's my bad. All right, I think I'm just gonna do all of the, I don't even know what that series is called. I don't even know what that series is called. We'll just do all of them now. So The Mistake, I just no. I don't think that I gave it a 2, but I gave it a 3. I don't like Logan. I thought that, like, the end is really corny where, like, he's on the radio and he, like, whatever. I think it's stupid. Let's find the deal. Okay, here's the deal. I don't know what I gave the deal. We'll do maybe so, maybe not so, because it's pretty good. It's pretty iconic. I don't mind the deal, so that's fine. Is Dean... Hold on. I don't remember. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so Logan... I don't actually remember. Okay, so next we have a Funny Story by Emily Henry. My queen. I love Emily Henry so much. We're gonna give this a... We're gonna put this in directly into my veins because I love M. Hen so much. Funny Story is just like... I love it so much. Like, there's so many people who don't like Miles. I love Miles. I think he's... I was gonna say he's my favorite, but Charlie Exists. I don't know. He's like my second favorite Emily Henry guy because I do really love... I love that he's like, he just works in the service and like, he's not like some... I don't know. I like that he's not like her other main characters. I just think that I really like them. And I really like Daphne. So we'll do Funny Story directly into my veins. So good. All right, I read King of Sloth by Anna Huang, and guys, I think I gave it a 3. It was kind of boring. I don't even know what happened in this book, but there is, okay, also, so I think the main character's name is Xavier or Xavier, which I do like the name. I think I like that she always kind of does that. Like a person of color in her books, which I really enjoy, but this has me cracking up. There is a character in a game that I don't know why this was just what was in my head. I'll put it on screen. It's like kind of embarrassing, but I don't know why this is like what came into my head. I think it has to do with like just the marketing colors of the book, and then I was playing this game and it made I just like put it together because their hair color is the same. Anyways. It's a little embarrassing, so don't judge me. We're gonna do The Predator by Runix. I have notes, but still valid. I actually really like this, to be honest. I read it, and honestly, this is one of the books that's like, you're gonna read it, don't take it too seriously. And I don't even really think that she takes it too seriously, like the author. I did really like it, to be honest. I like a dark romance story that's not like perpetuating a really negative, toxic relationship. I do like that kind of story. If you've probably watched Steph's video. She did a video where she read dark romance, and I'll put it up. I really like that video because I think that me and our tastes really align in that sense. So I really like The Predator. I started reading it after I watched her video. So it's like a movie in my head. I think I gave it like a 4.5 or something. All right, so The New Couple. What even happened? Yeah, we'll do what even happened. This book is just, I read it for my family book club, and I just don't think I liked it. I don't actually think anybody in the group liked it. I think that we really were like, this book kind of sucks. Not that it didn't make sense, it just kind of, I don't know, it just like didn't add up. And sometimes when you read a thriller book, you kind of have to like suspend your disbelief a little bit, but I just don't really think that I could have done that with this book. She is like really bad at sneaking around. Like, she's awful at sneaking around. She gets caught every single time. Anyways, next book on our list is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. Directly into my veins. Yeah. I want to put this directly into my veins. I love this book so much, and I just, like, I think about it and I low-key like might start tearing up. I remember I literally talked about this book in therapy because it was crazy. The ending is so good. Like, honestly, I recommend everybody reads Red Rising by Pierce Brown. It's phenomenal. It's like Hunger Games in space, as people like to say. There is an element of like academia in the first book, but I think some people think that that's going to continue on. It doesn't. It actually, once the book is over, or at the end of the book, that's when they get out of the institute and more things happen. You're looking at this much of the universe when it's like this big. Trust me, it's so good. I love it. Okay. So, okay, next we have The Well of Ascension by Brandon. I think I'm gonna do The Final Empire first, and The Final Empire is going to be put into, where do we think it's going? Directly into my veins. Put The Final Empire into my veins. So good, so good. I will try to convince everybody to read Mistborn if you haven't already read it. I loved it, so good. The Well of Ascension, I'm gonna give it, I have notes, still valid. You get more of a character in this book that comes up in the first book, and I really liked that character. I really liked another character that gets introduced in this book. Her character is really good, but there are just some character things that I don't really agree with. An antagonist in this book is kind of just a little bit too convenient for the story and the plot, and some difficulties that Vin's going through, and I just didn't really see a purpose for it. So that's like my main thing. That's why I wouldn't give it a full 5 out of 5. Let's go into The Hero of Ages. I feel kind of awful putting like so many Sanderson books in my top 5 or in my top section. But The Hero of Ages is just so good. Like, the ending is crazy. Like, I love the ending. Yeah. And there's a character that gets like his own little arc, and I loved it. It was so good. So I don't think I can put this in any other category. It has to be top. All right. So, okay, Mistborn trilogy. We'll go back to the rest for Era 2 when that comes up. Okay, we have The Bell Jar. I'll do maybe so, maybe not so. I gave this like a 3.5, I think. It's good for what it is and the time that it came out, and you know, it's very much like this is a white woman and her struggles and what she's going through, so it doesn't really apply to like marginalized people, but you know, I think that we can all take something from it in one aspect or another. Again, it is very much geared towards like a white women, so you know, take that with a grain of salt. I still think that it still is very impactful. I literally remember talking to my boyfriend about the fig tree analogy and how it's just a lot. I remember talking to my partner about the fig tree, and I think that's like the most referenced thing. And I see a lot in media, and I think that it's just a lot to think about, and yeah, it's just a lot to think about. Anyways, so we're gonna go into the next one, which is The Alloy of Law. I'm gonna put The Alloy of Law in maybe so, maybe not so, because I do like it. I do like Era 2. I just don't know how much I like this one compared to like the first one. So we'll put it there. Let's go in order. I think Shadows of Self is next. And I'm gonna give that I have notes, but still valid, because I think I gave this a 4. I did really like it. The ending, wild. Absolutely crazy. It made me care a lot more about Wax. So I'll do that. And then I think, okay, here's The Bands of Mourning. I just recently finished this in my vlog. So we'll put The Bands of Mourning here. Let's see. We'll put it in valid 5 out of 5. I do like what happened in it, and I do like where it's going. I have heard that the Lost Metal kind of takes more of a Cosmere, setting up for the Cosmere kind of thing, which I don't know how I'm gonna feel. A lot of people say it takes a turn for Wayne's character, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. I'm okay with Wayne. I like him. I think he's funny. I can see how I think I'm gonna get. I think I'm gonna get a little tired of his character, but I like a lot of the things that Brandon does with his character when he's such comedic relief, and this is his like purpose, but he does have a little bit more depth, and you see him do other things that might help flesh him out more as a character. And I like his interactions with Maireys so far. I do really like Milan, so I hope we see a little bit more of her. I love Steris. I love Steris so much. I hope we get more of her because I relate to her a lot in like a organization kind of, I just relate to her a lot, so I hope we see more of her. All right, next we have Warbreaker. I'm gonna put Warbreaker in, I have notes, but still valid, but I'm gonna put it in the front because I think that Warbreaker is really good. I really like Warbreaker. There's a certain character that's in Warbreaker that I just love, and I think that it really carries it for me. And I'm not even gonna say anything about them because spoiler. All right, so we have, I think this is volume 10 of Spy Family. We're just gonna put it in no rating. Okay, we have The Way of Kings. I'm gonna put The Way of Kings in a valid 5 out of 5. Because I don't think I can put Way of Kings in the same category as Words of Radiance, but I'm gonna put it at the front, so we know where it goes in my heart. Okay, God of Fury. I don't know what book is about who for this series. Let me just put them all together here so that I can look at them all. Okay, I think I put them in order. So we have God of Malice, God of Pain, God of Wrath, God of Ruin, and God of Fury. I don't know if that's the right order though. Okay, so Malice is about Glyndon and Killian, and I didn't rate it. I'm gonna put it in no please no though, like, because I didn't rate it when I read it. I read it really early on. I kind of just read it because I think I watched Larissa's video and I was like, maybe I'll get into it. Trigger warnings. Check the trigger warnings for any of Rena Kent's books. Check them. I don't even think that this should be considered a romance, if I'm being honest with you. Hello from the future. I'm currently editing this video and I'm talking about God of Malice. And I recently watched a YouTube video about this book and I really liked it. So I'm gonna put it on screen. I'm gonna recommend you watch it because I really liked it. I thought she was really funny. She made a lot of good points and she kind of articulated what I wanted to say in a much better words and more entertaining way. So I would watch that video. It's actually crazy. God of Pain. I'm gonna put it in no. I'm gonna put it in no please because it's another, like, I don't know why. I think I just got really hooked. Like, even though the writing is kind of cringy, the things that happen in these books is not romantic. There's a lot of things that happen in romance books that I like love, but I would never want to happen to me, or I would never want said to me. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so hot, whatever. But like, I would never, don't ever even try saying that to me. This is like, even reading it made me feel icky. God of Pain is that. God of Wrath, I think God of Pain is Creighton and Annika's story. And then I think that God of Wrath is Jeremy and Cecil. Is that her name? I think that's their book. Honestly, I don't really know if I don't really know if what happens in this book, but I think there's just a lot more smut in this one than there is in the other ones. I'm gonna put this one in no rating because I don't really think that it's as bad as the other ones. Now, God of Ruin, I think is Landon and Maya's book. And dare I say, I was most excited to read that book. I was so excited to read God of Ruin because, okay, whenever you read a story and whenever you're reading like an interconnected standalone or even just like a series and you see a character that is like obviously made to go against all of the protagonists and then you see that they get a book, that's the guy that I want to read about. I want to read about that guy because I want to know what their redemption's going to be. I fall so hard for that, to be honest. So I was so excited for God of Ruin because I was like, okay, Landon, he's kind of a piece of shit. Actually, he's not kind of. He is a piece of shit and he sucks. I want to read that. Like, I want that book. So I was so excited to read this and I loaded it up on my Kindle and I was like, let's go. I can't. It was, I'm not gonna put it in no please. I'm gonna put it in no rating. Actually, no, I am gonna put it in no please. And honestly, this is why it's going in no please. Guys that talk about their dick like it's another person, no. Biggest ick ever is that. That is my biggest ick. Absolutely not. You've lost me. You've lost me and I've lost the plot. Hold on, I need to check something real quick. Okay, let's read my review. If I read Lips Parted one more time, I'm going to scream. Lips Parted was in this book 21 times, and that's like 19 too many. Also, I was so excited for Lan's book, but he talks about his dick like it's a person. Biggest ick. Spoiler question mark. If she hasn't talked in like 11 years, her voice isn't going to sound normal the first time she talks. Anyways, time to read the same book, but with different characters. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, we have God of Fury. God of Fury is the only book in this series that... Oh, actually, I was just about to lie to you. I was gonna say it's the only book in this series that got a rating, but God of War, we already know, got a rating, and it was a bad rating. God of Fury, we're gonna put it in maybe so, maybe not so, because I actually did really like it. I thought it was cute. There was like less murder and stuff going on in this book, and yeah, it's like the kind of weird obsessive kind of thing, but I did really like reading Bran's story. I do really like his character a lot. He's just like a good guy, so I really did like this book. A good romance. Okay, we have Spy Family again, and I don't know what volume this is. We're gonna put it in no rating. When the Moon Hatched. We'll just move on. We'll move on. Yeah. Edge Dancer by Brandon. I don't know what I gave this. I think I gave it a 3. I know this is gonna be crazy, but I don't like Lift. I actually don't like Lift at all. I think she is frustrating. Frustratingly annoying. And if I look at my review, I think that the word awesome was in this novella 90 times or something. And that's like too many times. Lift is like a kid character, so like I can understand why she's like annoying, but I think that maybe it wouldn't have affected me as much if I had read it physically instead of listening to it, because listening to it, I really heard every single time she said awesome and awesomeness. I can't do it. I couldn't do it. So we'll put maybe not so. Okay, so we have The Hunger Games. We're gonna give The Hunger Games a valid 5 out of 5. Valid 5 out of 5. This is a reread from like when it came out for me. Like I haven't read the book since then, and then I watched the movie when it came out, and I only watched it one time. I watched it twice now because I watched it again. Really enjoyed it, and honestly, the world might be its own Hunger Games at this point. Let's do the other ones. We're gonna put Catching Fire in the same thing. Valid 5 out of 5. Okay. And then we're gonna put Mockingjay in I have notes, but still valid, because there's a character that dies, and I'm like, that didn't need to happen. That didn't need to happen. So we're gonna put it in that category. Okay, we're some more Spy Family. I'm just gonna put all of my Spy Family in here, and I'm gonna put the first one in a valid 5 out of 5. Let's organize this. We'll put this back here. Bands of Mourning. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to organize my 5 out of 5s. All right, we have Colty. I gave Colty a 5 out of 5. Yeah. It's gonna stay a 5 out of 5. I really liked Colty. I read this in the beginning of the year, and it's just so good. I loved it. Like, Mariana Zapata books, I see it. I see the appeal. I really want to read Wait For It and All Roads Lead Here, just because Heather won't stop talking about it and I need to read it. I think I have All Roads Lead Here downloaded on my Kindle, so I will be reading that soon. And I will be vlogging it because I think I'm going to do a little video of reading my favorite booktubers' favorite books. It looks like next I have a series. I'm just going to put all of them together, and I'm going to put them in categories based on how well I remember the books. Here we have the Hades Persephone saga thing. by Scarlett St. Clair. You can hear my cats running around. By Scarlett St. Clair. I listened to all of these on audio, and I read the first two of the Persephone books. Like, I read A Touch of Darkness, and then I read A Touch of Ruin. But then I realized that the Hades books are the same story, but like his POV, which is 10 times more interesting than Persephone's POV. So I think I gave A Touch of Darkness a 4. I'm gonna put it in maybe so, maybe not so. And then A Touch of Ruin. I think I'm going to change I change my rating to, I changed this category to 3 below instead of like 5 below. So I put 3 below. And I'm going to put A Touch of Malice in there because I did not like this book. It was so annoying. I feel so bad for Hades and Hecate for having to deal with her. She was so annoying in that book. A Game of Fate is his book, Hades' book, the first one. So it kind of like went over, okay. Why won't this move? Okay, there we go. It kind of like goes through the first book and it's just like his POV. But honestly, it's pretty good. So that's fine. I liked that. It was much more interesting. And then I read A Game of Retribution, which also pretty good. Didn't mind it. A Game of Gods was also pretty good. So we're going to put that in. I have notes, but still valid. And then A Game of Chaos. I'm going to put maybe so, maybe not so. A Touch of Chaos. We're going to put that there. Because it was okay, but I just think that it ended a little bit too... It was a little too convenient, that ending. It wrapped up a little too well. Okay, Bride. So I read Bride earlier this year when it came out. I listened to it on audio. It was pretty good. I'm going to put it in maybe so, maybe not so. If you're not into Omegaverse things, I wouldn't read this. Also, if you don't read Hallie Hazelwood or you don't like her, I wouldn't read this. I gave it a 5 when I read it, and I think that if I could change my rating, I would, and I would make it like a 4 or maybe a 3.5. Still pretty good. The Veiled Kingdom. Okay, this is another book that I gave a pretty good score. I think I gave it 4. I would give it a 3 now. I did like it. It just ramped up really quickly, and I just don't know. I just don't know if I still have the same thoughts about it. And it took a lot. You can really see that it took a lot of inspiration from other stories, but it felt like it took it a step too far, if that makes any sense. Next, we have Dawn Shard. I'm gonna put it in, I have notes, but still valid. I really like Dawn Shard, like a lot. Dawn Shard is so much more interesting than Edge Dancer, if I'm being honest. So yeah, Dawn Shard is the novella that you read between Oathbringer and Rhythm of War, I think. But yeah, really good. I liked it. Crossroads by Devney Perry. I'm gonna put that in, yeah, maybe so, maybe not. I really liked it. It was okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really know anything that happened in the book. I still thought it was good though. I think that a Devney Perry story, you really can't go wrong with that. Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. I'm gonna put it in valid. I'm gonna put it in I have notes, but still valid. And we're gonna do the very same thing with Ninth House. I loved Ninth House. Another book that I got on recommendation of Heather. Definitely check her out. Blindside. I'm gonna put it in 3 or below, or 3 below. I think this book would have been so much better if the third act breakup wasn't, I don't know, like it just did not hit. And I know that the third act conflict kind of like, not needs to happen, but for storytelling purposes, whatever, like it happens. I just did not like this at all. Like I can deal with the third act breakup, but this was just like ridiculous from what I can remember, because I read it a while ago. It was good on audio though. I did like it. Okay, we have The Emperor's Soul by Brandon Sanderson. I know where this is going. It's going directly into my veins, and if anything, it's going in front of Words of Radiance. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about The Emperor's Soul. I love this book so much. I want everybody to go and read it. It's like less than 200 pages. It is beautiful. Go read it. I love it. Please use your Spotify audiobook hours for it. Trust me, it's so good. Okay, we have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I already put Golden Sun in there. We're gonna put it in I have notes, but still valid. And we're gonna put it here. Also, we're also gonna move these books up. Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. Hold, please. Okay. I think that's good. I like that. All right, now we have Heartstopper. This is volume 3. We're gonna put it up here because I love volume 3. It's so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Next we have, I'm gonna do Heartstopper 2 and we're gonna put it in a valid 5. Because I love Heartstopper. I don't think it could be anything but a 5. All right, next we have A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. I'm gonna put this in 3 below. And the reason why I'm gonna put it in 3 below is because this is another book that I really took off of Steph's recommendations. And it just made me so sad that I didn't like it because I really wanted to. Like, this is a book that I so wanted to love so much. I think that it really would, I think it would have been better if it didn't have that extension at the end, which I understand a lot of people love. It just wasn't for me. I don't know. I love the character. I love the main character. I think she was great. I loved the exploration of her struggles. I loved all of it. I just, maybe that kind of romance just not for me. Next we have The Chase, which I thought I put together with the other books. I don't remember like what even happened in this book. I genuinely couldn't tell you what happened. So next we have Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. We're gonna put this in What Even Happened. So I read this book and it took me maybe about, I don't even know how long it took me. It took me forever to finish this book. And when I got like 40% into it, I was like, okay, things are picking up. I tried to read Ricochet and I just can't. I wish I could get into the series. If Only You, okay, I'm gonna put 3 or below. I wanted to love If Only You so much because of the autism representation. I hated this character so much. I wanted so much more from this though, because the representation's really good. Being in this character's head was like being in my own head, and I just wanted to read something that had some representation for myself. And also, whenever I'm looking for something that has like autism representation, I always want to like, I always want to pick things out so I can like highlight it or save it, and then I can be like to my therapist, so this is how I feel, and somebody wrote it much better than I ever could, and this is exactly how I'm feeling, just so I can talk to her about it. But in the aspect of the romance, I don't, maybe because I don't have siblings, but like the whole trope, or the whole like big like older brothers needing to protect you trope, I can't. The whole older brother thing, like the end of the book where they're all like talking to him and they like bombard him in like the shed to like have a conversation with him about, oh my god, I was cringing so hard I had to turn the audiobook off. I could not. All right, we have Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I gave this book like a 4 or something, like a really high 4. And I just don't know. I'm gonna put it maybe so, maybe not so, because I really, really, really wish that it was still like in that, I really wish it was still in like that high of a regard for me. I think that Divine Rivals is still like super top tier for me, but Ruthless Vows just doesn't hit the same. And I think that the whole like there's no like enchanted letters going on anymore is probably why. All right, next we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and I know that this gets a lot of flack, but I'm gonna put I have notes but still valid, because the audiobook narrator for Kai, he is something else, and I have no more words. We have Powerless by Elsie Silver, which is a reread, and I will be putting that in I have notes but still valid. Actually, it's gonna be in 5 out of 5, but I'm gonna leave it at the back because it's a reread, but I love it. It was just a reread. I had the audiobook, so I just, you know, gave it a listen over the course of a couple days. Next we have House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. So I went to the midnight release for this and everything, and I'm gonna put it in maybe so, maybe not so, because I give it like a 4 or something on Goodreads. I'm gonna put it maybe so, maybe not so, because it's very much like, it's what mood are you in. Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. I'm gonna put what even happened. I read this book and it was okay. I like that the main girl, she sings, but they don't write lyrics. She's not writing lyrics. Honestly, that's why I love that. She sings, there's no lyrics in the book. She just sings, describes the voice, perfect. That's all I got. Hooked by Emily McIntyre. No, please. I just don't think that writing into your book that you're milking her. Next one is The Reaper by Runix. Where did I put The Predator? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put it next to it. Yeah, I think that's valid. I did really like The Reaper. I don't even remember what. Morana, Tristan. Morana and Tristan are, I like what's going on. I love the whole thing where it's like she doesn't have anywhere else to go, but she goes to him and he takes her in. I ate that up. Also, the restaurant scene. That restaurant scene. You know what I'm talking about if you read it. Last but not least, certainly not least, is Oathbringer. Where am I going to put Oathbringer? I don't even think that you need to think about it because, yeah, it's going above Words of Radiance. A book about Dalinar, top tier, all right? A book about Dalinar is top tier. This is my little tier rank. I have like a little mini tier ranking of Stormlight characters. Dalinar's top, Syl, Navani, Shallan, and then Kaladin. And then we'll put Adolin in there with Shallan. That's like my tier list. Wow, that's my tier list. Okay, so let me zoom this out a little bit just so you can really get a view for it. This is my tier list. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for enjoying this video with me. I'm so happy that I'm actually doing this. I'm happy that I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent. If you have any ideas of what to post, let me know in the comments because I would gladly do it. An idea that I do have is reading like my favorite booktubers books, or that's an idea that I have. Just let me know. I've literally been filming for an hour. I have a lot of footage to edit, but thank you so much. I really appreciate you hanging out, and yeah, I'll see you next time. All right, I'm back to just add a quick clip. I told my friend that I would put this in here, so I'm gonna put a little screenshot of our little text conversation asking if he can get a little birthday shout out. So happy birthday to my friend Marco, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm so glad that you stuck around this long. That's kind of crazy because this video is an hour long, but yeah, I'm very grateful that you stuck around. So bye.